Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel, Making Sense of Credit. I'm Tony Hill. I'm a personal and small business credit coach, online marketer, and YouTuber. Hey, welcome. Hey, I'm going to be talking to you guys, and I kind of did a video similar, but this one is a little bit more in depth. But it's basically the score versions of FICO, especially 5, 4, and 2 on different credit bureaus. And look, I think you can gain a lot from this video. And like the video says, don't apply for anything until you watch this video. I think it's important so you understand what lenders are looking at. At least you have some idea. So look, uh, and stay with me to the end because you know what? You're going to learn something if you watch this video in full. Before I hop into it, look, before I forget, uh, smash like button, hit the notification bell for upcoming content. Make a comment if you like. And please share this with your friends and family. Don't keep it to yourself. And most of all, subscribe to my channel. Appreciate you guys. Look, uh, basically what I did was I broke this down into customer A, B, and C. And actually, these are real clients of mine. Of course, protecting their anonymity. But so I'm not going to disclose who they are, but these are actually real files, so it's not something that I made up. But first of all, let me just share this with you. If you haven't watched any of my videos, people call me every day. And when I ask them, I say, what monitoring service are you using or where do you get your scores from? And they say Credit Karma. And my, I go in shock every time. So look, if you haven't seen those videos, watch the videos that I've done on FICO score versus Vantage 3.0 scores. Those scores are what the banks use. When you look up the description, they'll tell you they're for educational purposes. Some lenders use them after you've gotten a loan because, frankly, they're free and they don't have to pay for FICO. But no one has proved to me that any lenders solely use Vantage scores. So until then, I'm not sold. And don't bank on those scores because a lot of people get turned down because of the matches that they're giving you and they're not accurate. The other thing, lenders, people always say, lenders use FICO 90% of the time. Well, that's true, but I say the lenders use FICO 100% of the time until someone else can prove something different to me. So anyway, just figure I would drop that. But today's video is about looking at, variations of your score based on the credit bureau and also talking a little bit about FICO 8, which is the most widely used score. But when you see when you see your FICO 8 score, that's not it. You basically, on myfico.com, you can get 28 versions. And there's said to be 32 or more versions. I'm only hanging with the versions that impact us today, okay? We can have a discussion about FICO 10 and some other things, but let's talk about what's impacting you and what the lenders are looking at today. That's what I've done in this video to break that down. So let's take a look at consumer A. So basically, their FICO 8 scores for Transunion is 644, Equifax 679, and 668. And then you say, well, why are they different, Tony? Because each credit bureau, uses, number one, different algorithms. And, sometimes different accounts don't report on all bureaus. So that could be the case too, right? So, but outside of that, and it's not so much a FICO 8 video, but I want to talk to you a little bit about the variations. So when you see this score, you're like, hey, my score is not bad, okay? But then when you look at your mortgage score, it's 565. And these are actual scores. 79 points, minus 79 points from here. Look at your auto score, minus 53. And this is huge. Look at this score. minus 102 points. So you might have this and say, hey, you know what? I can apply for certain credit cards. Very few credit cards, other than a few fair score. But with this score here, this is more likely they're going to use, bank card 4. Of course, they could use and then also, they could use another score. They could use a bank card 8 score also, which I didn't figure in these. Basically, what I did, I wanted you to see the most widely used ones that they had, that the lenders use. So, but look at the variations. You're 102 points from this, 542. You definitely don't want to apply for any credit cards, because this just tells me, and I'll show you at the bottom of the page, that more likely utilization is very high. Minus 53 on auto. Look, auto is very forgiving. Could you still probably get an auto loan with this? Yes, but probably not at the best rate. And then the mortgage, once again, we're just getting out of COVID. It's going to be hard pressed to get a mortgage with this score. So let's go down to Equifax. 679. Look at your mortgage, 626, minus 53 points from that. Look at your auto score, minus 73 points from that. And look at your bank card score, minus 26 points. So once again, these are real scores, and FICO 5 maybe, don't hit you as hard for having very similar utilization. Or maybe one of those high utilization accounts aren't on this report. There's a few ways you can figure it out by looking at your report, okay? But I just wanted to show you the different variations, okay? Let's go to Experian. Experian, FICO 8, 668. Mortgage score, 581. Wow, what a difference. Auto score, minus 100 points. And bank card score, minus 75 points. Again, not the best. And then also there's another version that some of the lenders use, which is an older version, is FICO 3. So, with minus 83 points. But actually, take a look at, when you look at all these scores, these are based on this client, on this consumer have kind of high utilization, 52, 52, 52. Which tells me, because utilization is across the board, they have all three of this, all the accounts are reporting the same on all three credit bureaus. Okay. Also, this model excludes auto FICO score and bank FICO scores. 8. Actually, that's what I meant. This excludes auto FICO score 8, bank FICO score 8, but it includes the other FICO scores. Okay. This model also excludes FICO 9 and 10. Excludes 8, auto 8, bank card 8, excludes 9 and 10. Okay. Let's go to consumer B. And so what you'll see, the utilization will play into a lot of this. So here, 663. But look at the mortgage score, 36 points up, 699. Auto score, 621. Bank card score, 761. But look at the FICO 8 score. Big difference, right? And so what this tells me here, because of those scores are up versus the FICO, that your utilization is in pretty good shape, okay? So you may be saying, well, I don't want to apply for anything with this score, but here, based on your FICO 4 score, you can get a lot of financing done, because a lot of banks use FICO 4 scores, okay? You're going to get a pretty good rate with auto, and you're going to get a pretty decent rate with mortgage, okay? So what a benefit. Let's go to Experian. 12 points more here, 42 points more here. What a difference. Bank card 2, once again, 55 points, 720. Bank card 3. So whether they use one of these versions, you're going to have a very likely chance of getting a credit card, a much better chance than if you were to look here. So sometimes people be like, well, I'm not in position to finance a card. And we like, Well, let's take a look at your My FICO and let's go to your bank card score. And I look at this, I go, well, no, yeah, I think you can apply for a Discover It card and get it. I think you can apply for um, certain credit cards that you can get here, and definitely take it. When you look at all three bank scores, so you see the bank card score up here. Well, sorry about that. Bank card score up here was 716. So I think you'll be in a pretty good shape. So let's go to Equifax. 713 plus 61 points. Auto score plus 74 points. Versus here. Bank's card score once again plus 73 points. Now let's look at the utilization. Zeros across the board. That's why your scores here are better than with your FICO. And you might say, well, Tony, why is FICO 8 different than these? Because FICO 8 uses, remember, a different utilization, folks. Okay? And these scores all have their own utilization. I'm sorry, not utilization. They all use their own. FICO 8 has a different algorithm. My bad. And then all of these scores have a different algorithm based on what the scores are. And a lot of it has to do with utilization, of course, late payments, on-time payments, how many accounts you got, and several other things. Once again, this model excludes auto FICO score 8 and bank card FICO score 8s and excludes 9 and 10. Let's look at C. And these are a little lower scores, 601 for Equifax, minus 26, minus 37, minus 63. So somebody might say, well, I got pretty fair credit. I want to apply for this credit card, but look here, 538. You don't have fair credit here. And what do they tell you fair credit is about? About 570 and up, right? So I wouldn't apply for anything being here because this tells me with the lower scores, probably tells me utilization is very high with the lower scores. So let's look at their TransUnion score, 644. Mortgage down, 79. Auto 4, minus 85. Bank card 4 is 102 points off. That's a huge difference. And once again, if you look at these all put you in poor score categories, just like up here. So it's probably not a good idea to apply for anything, folks. I wouldn't. Let's go to Experian, 619. And look, unless you have a lender where they only use FICO 8, which some lenders do, and you may be able to qualify for something, but I wouldn't do it because you're not going to get favorable rates. Once again, let's look at Experian mortgage, 502, 117 points off. And once again, folks, these are actual scores. Auto score, 104. Bank card score, 506, 113. Look at the variances here in points. And then also this is FICO 3, minus 86. So let's go to why these scores are so low. Look at utilization, 81, 100%, 79 on Experian. And this just tells me because you don't see them the same, one or two of these accounts may have something that's not reporting or something reporting different. So the actual amounts are different on each of these because these percentages are different. Once again, those things are excluded, which I talked about. Also, before I forget, let's just talk about how do you get your middle score. And this always bothers the heck out of me when I ask the client and they have 10 factual data on their credit bureau and they want me to get inquiries deleted. I'm thinking, do you know what your middle score is? They go, yeah, but I said, do you know how to get your middle score? Because if you had your middle score, you wouldn't apply. Because look, pre-pandemic, there was a lot of 589 lenders that you can get a mortgage with, and then 620, and then most lenders now, some lenders now are looking at a minimum of 640. Not all the case, and I know it's still some lower score, lenders out there. So don't come after me, but I'm saying there's a lot of 640 minimum scores. So you say, Tony, how do I get my middle score? Well, I'm going to show you this. So if you're customer A, consumer A, so here's your middle score. So 4, 5, and 2. Okay, Transunion is 4, all 4 scores. Equifax is 5 scores. Experian is 2 scores. So what you're going to do, you're going to take the high and the low. You're going to throw out the high, throw out the low, and your middle score is what your mortgage company is going to use. So what is that here? So your mortgage score on your Transunion is 565. Your mortgage score on your Equifax is 626. Your mortgage score on your Experian is 581. So which score are they going to use? They're going to throw this out because that's the low. They're going to throw this out, this is the high, and they're going to use this score here, 581. So when a mortgage company tell you, well, your score is a 581, this is the number that they're looking at, folks. Let's look at consumer B. 699, 677, 713. Throw out the high, throw out the low. Your middle score is 699. Let's go to consumer C. What's your mortgage score? What's your middle mortgage score? 575, 565, 502. Throw out the low, throw out the high. Your middle score is going to be 565. Look, the thing about these scores, folks, is that it's going to give you some insight into kind of when and when not to apply. I wouldn't apply for anything, and look, guys, you guys can look up. If you look at it, I'm sure most of you have seen a little pie chart about, the scores, fair, good, very good, and excellent. And you could kind of base your applying on, different things based on those, where your score falls in line. And none of these I would apply, right? And I hope you guys are with me. Some of these actually there's mortgages, but none of these I would apply other than fair credit, because fair credit starts at 570. So when you go down, you're like, well, Tony, yeah. See here, I would apply because bank card 716, 720, and look, you can get away. Let me just drop this to you. The sweet spot for a lot of credit unions are right around that 665 to 685, 690. But once again, get your score as high as you can. Don't apply for anything unless your utilization is 20% under. And yes, you can have all your credit cards down to zero. That's a myth. You do not have to leave a balance for your score. Your scores are going to score their highest when your debt is less. Okay. Otherwise, people would have same scores, right? But the people who have less debt, so if there's zero out their account before they apply, their scores are going to be at their highest point. So look, yes, this is in depth. Maybe you need to watch this video a couple, 3 times, and get the point that I'm talking about. I think if you watch it, maybe, and sometimes you look, I've never been that smart a guy. I was a B student, and sometimes I would have to watch things or read something once, twice, maybe even 3 times. And maybe you have to do this with this video. It's a little more in depth what I've done in the past. But I want you guys not to apply for anything and not know where you are in getting approved. Another thing about this video too, you can go to a lot of these, like the Auto 5, bank card score, the auto scores, and even the mortgage scores. And you can actually see what they use. Let's say if you bought a car, they actually give you by law, they have to give you the scores that they use. And you'll get a sheet that says, that when you apply that score, you can go back on myfico.com and click on your score, your bank card score, because they may have used that. And also too, maybe they use your FICO 8 auto score. But most of the times you can actually see what score they use. That's the brilliance of this, folks. And look, I hope you got this. I know it's a little more in depth, but I hope you're with me. Maybe you have to watch it a couple times, 3 times to get it. But at the end of the day, I wanted to bring some clarification to this, and hopefully this helps as far as FICO 8 and the other scores. Don't apply for anything based on just your FICO 8 scores. Check out your bank card scores. Check out your auto scores. Check out your mortgage scores. Hey, this is Tony O, making sense of credit, making sense of making money online. I'm going to be coming to you with more videos, definitely making money online. I started my Turo journey, and I want to bring you that because, look, credit and making money go hand in hand, right? If you got more money to pay down your debt, your scores are going to be better. So I'm going to try to give you a few things that I'm doing that'll help you make a little more money, and keep your utilization down. But until next time, you be safe, guys. Take care.